G'day, Heath here from pickinglessons.com. Whiskey Before Breakfast. This is a great session tune, a really popular one in the key of D major. This arrangement is a more basic version, so great for the intermediate picker. It's still a relatively tricky tune, but not as hard as some arrangements perhaps may be, or some versions. This one we have a bit more space throughout, and we're kind of just backing up this basic way of playing the melody. Very scaly, very much out of that D major scale position. We'll check that out in a moment. We're going to break down part A of the arrangement here in this video, but if you head to pickinglessons.com, you can grab yourself a copy of the tablature. In the member section there, we'll break down the lesson for part B, and you'll have a play along and backing tracks there to help out once you get to know the tune as well. So we are in the D major scale position, so make sure you know that. So the D major scale, very simple. And we really are sitting in that position for a lot of this melody in part A. So the first measure there is straight up the scale. So those notes from the D, E, F sharp, G and A, and sitting on that A. Right hand, make sure we alternate on the eighth notes, down and up, and then on those quarter notes, they're a down. So that first measure, straight up the scale. Second measure, we kind of move up and down within the scale position. Yeah, so from the A up to the B, back to the A, descending, but then we leap over to the D before running back up, which leads us onto that fifth fret of the third measure. Let's just quickly practice these first two measures together. It's a good idea as you're learning it just to group these together and practice them up. So first and second measures, 3, 4. Into that third measure. So this arrangement, this is one of the moments that we're playing a little simpler perhaps than it could be. So in this particular measure, we're bouncing between those arpeggio notes for the G and the D chord and using the quarter note, eighth note rhythm. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So a little bit harder would be something like this. Yeah, so we're not doing that in this version. What we're doing is leaving that space, which is great. You hear that all the time. It's really cool. It's a bit easier to play though too. So arpeggio on the G and the D. Now, more scaly passage. So this is all on the one string there. There are other ways of playing this, yeah? There are variations around this portion of the melody, but this is on the single string, which somewhat should make it easier, not having to change strings through this passage. So we're up and down through the scale, and then descending through the scale. So measure 3 and 4, ready, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Very cool. We're going to move on through the second half. We have a bit of a repeat on the second half here. Up the scale, just like before, arpeggio, and closing it out in this arrangement through the scale there. So E, D, E, F sharp, D. 2 open Ds just to kind of get us back around on the repeat. So nice and repetitive, some space in the rhythm, not too busy, and keeping things a little bit more simple at times. So having a basic version of a tune is great. If the tempo was a fast one when you're jamming on this one, this is going to be a more manageable version. If you haven't been playing mandolin for a long time, this is a nice basic version. There's lots of good reasons to know a simpler version of a tune. So this is really like that. Let's have a slow play through part A, just once through. We do need to repeat this though once you're playing it. So once through from the top. 3, 4. And go around for a second time. So there's part 8, key of D major, Whiskey Before Breakfast, nice basic version of the tune. Pickinglessons.com, you can grab yourself the tablature for this complete arrangement. In the member section there, we will continue this lesson and break down part B and check out what's happening there. You'll also have play along backing tracks once you get to know it. So pickinglessons.com, I'll see you there.